Individual Responsibility in Combating Human Trafficking by Stephanie Celan. Roots of human trafficking. Human trafficking is the most complex growing industry worldwide. Thousands of young women and children are being trafficked internationally every day. Tactics. Multiple tactics are recommended, such as culture, unique opinions, and solutions to the issue. Anti-trafficking initiative can be accomplished depending on the specific legislation, as every nation has different rules and regulations. Rescuing, rehabilitation, and prevention are all factors in necessary tactics. The first step will always be rescuing the victims from their traffickers and entering rehabilitation centers. These tactics are imperative to prevent heartless trades and offering these victims of sex trafficking a better life. There are non-profit organizations and communities to educate everyone of the issues and temptations involving trafficking. Victims of trafficking can be rescued and placed into support systems where there is a healthy community relationship. Stricter laws are imperative to catch traffickers and make sure they get punished to the full extent of the law so the corruption can decrease. Poverty, greed, and disenfranchisement in women and certain groups are main crowd of human trafficking. The human right of women and children who have been trafficked are vulnerable and can be violated by offering assistance and end up treating these victims as if they can't change or be rehabilitated. One's human rights is necessary for when these victims are seeking justice and be considered as a regular human being, like everyone else, so they can move forward with their lives. Some common legal responses is denial of the situation, undocumented migration, and failing to consider human rights with no gender discrimination in the mix. Challenges of prevention and aftercare. Prevention for anti-trafficking is a mission that is often an overwhelming process that takes time and lots of resources. According to the American Psychological Association, there is minimal data on ways to prevent trafficking in women and children. Prevention programs within schools, housing, and facilities can spread information on different approaches that can take place, such as higher education and working opportunities for each victim. Sometimes when there is damage psychological, physical, and sociological, an individual is forced into trafficking. Much more time and money is needed to be invested into the rehabilitation, as they need more time to heal. Rehabilitation for trafficking victims need much more resources, such as medical attention, substance detox, counseling, and experience in job seeking. Rehabilitation programs address healthcare, safety, and mental health issues. Some of these issues include dealing with STD, HIV/AIDS, pregnancies, and even PTSD symptoms. These resources are needed to protect those who have been trafficked, as well as prosecuting their trafficker to the full extent. One empowerment organization is called Girls Educational and Mentoring Services. This organization is primarily to aid women at risk of sexual exploitation and trafficking. Some preventative steps of aiding these women is finding alternatives such as schools, facilities, residential treatment, and youth fellowship programs. Transitional and supporting housing is offered to aid young victims from sexual exploitation. The GAMS help these victims in court and make sure that they are protected after they have left the hectic lifestyle. The Office of Monitor and Combat Trafficking in the U.S. has a budget of about $153,000, which is sufficient funds to change victims' lives. Current response strategies. Fighting human trafficking comes with discrepancies on the government. Not every legislator is there to protect trafficking, as some policies are not effective enough to make sure that victims are protected. It is very upsetting that sometimes the government doesn't know how to cope with society issues, being self-defeating and embarrassing. The lack of knowledge is detrimental to victims, as they are unprotected from their traffickers that are at times not prosecuted effectively. Sweden in 1999 changed its laws to decrease prostitution. It was not illegal to prostitute yourself, but indeed illegal to sell someone for sex. It was shocking to other governments that this law actually decreased the number of prostitution as well as trafficking. In some nations, the main focus is to prosecute traffickers on the crimes they have committed aside from protecting those they have harmed. A responsible approach. Being able to put all of your priorities aside to help these other individuals is incredibly genuine. Preventing trafficking can start up in schools, where faculty educate young adults about the crime as well as helping those victims get rehabilitated so trafficking can decrease. Having these centers in our community to help women and children can help awareness. These communities support freedom and feeling of empowerment. Government, non-governmental, and United Nations can join together to provide their services so that trafficking can stop. There are multiple organizations such as one called Breaking Free, who offers support and recovery for exploited children and women of all ages. Be proactive with your local community and work together with organizations that have made a difference in someone's life. These programs are not only for trafficking victims, but also for those who have been sold by their family, sold for child marriages, and widowed individuals who need to empower themselves and not be judged but to have confidence in themselves. These victims are not to be seen as defenseless objects, but as human beings who have human rights trying to recover their lives. Some programs respond to the issue of trafficking and focusing on rehabilitation and rescue efforts of survivors, while also looking into injustice of human trafficking. The International Justice Mission is an organization working here in the United States to distribute awareness worldwide. This program addresses prevention and providing community centers in poor countries where these victims can feel safe. Due to the amount of issues contributing to sex trafficking, awareness is imperative and is a long-term goal. Knowledge is key. Educating the community of the nature of the problem will help research continue and improve services provided to the community, as well as building a relationship with each other universally impacted by the disgusting crime. If you want to learn more information or read more about awareness and decreasing sex trafficking, please look through my resources and have fun. Thank you.